Hi, we're Group 6, and we're excited to present to you a program for wellness leave here at the company. Here at the company, we save lives. We take our mission very seriously. And we don't just do that through as upper management, but we create an environment for our employees to be engaged, to pay attention to detail, and to make sure, ultimately ensure that our products are delivered with zero defects. Unfortunately, our culture has taken some big hits recently, largely due to COVID. And in the first place, when we had to furlough our employees during COVID, many of our best employees were able to find employment elsewhere, and they left the company. Another subset of employees found themselves feeling betrayed by the company and not supported during a difficult time. Furthermore, further complicating the issue, is we had difficult supply chain issues, which we're still having. And these supply chain issues have led us to have component shortages and lots of downtime, and then followed by periods of intense overtime in which employees are unfortunately forced to work long hours in under difficult circumstances. And this has led to a significant amount of employee burnout, which is completely understandable. If you'll imagine you're an employee, you've been furloughed, you come back, and then you find yourself doing make work for long periods of time, um, cleaning up, mopping floors, whatever it is, and then followed immediately by a large amount of components and strict deadlines where you've got massive amounts of overtime work and you and you've got to stay focused or try to stay focused through a trying time. And in the meantime, you're hearing us preach about attention to detail and things like that, when in reality, you may not be even physically capable of giving the attention to detail that you need in order to do your job. And so we've seen this show up in our metrics in several ways. We've seen an increase in defects that get past our lines and to the customer. We've seen an increase in absenteeism. We've seen an increase in attrition, where we've lost in the past 6 months 10 of our management and director level employees uh, due to this burnout. We've also had a difficult time backfilling these positions due to the fact that we have a reputation in the company or in the community of being a difficult place to work. And so our proposal addresses these concerns. We'll go to Kristen for the proposal. We'll go to Josh for the costs, and then we will talk about challenges and solutions with tech, followed by Bree, and she'll bring us home. Over to you, Kristen.
Thank you, Todd. Like he said, we know that there are issues right now with employee engagement, retention, and burnout. As the upper management team, we want to demonstrate strong leadership skills by showing our employees that we do recognize there is an issue and we want to do something to take steps to address those issues, and that we also care about our employees. There's a lot of research out there showing that exercise does increase productivity. It helps combat stress, it helps battle fatigue, and also boosts your mood. Therefore, the solution we are proposing is to implement a company-wide wellness program. We believe that this will address our current issues as well as improve company culture in the long run. We are aiming to build loyalty, to build trust, and to create an environment where people enjoy their career and enjoy coming to work. So I'm going to share with you the outline of the wellness program, and let's get started. So what we are proposing is offering every employee 2 hours a week to spend on campus, doing any of the approved activities that you see here on screen. If there is something that you would like to see as an approved activity that is not listed here, please let us know, because we are definitely open to suggestions and creating a program that everyone is excited about. So we also want each employee to be empowered to schedule this wellness leave based on their own schedule and how they see fit. So they are welcome to use the full 2 hours in one day, or if they prefer to break it up into smaller increments throughout the week, that is up to them. Um, the details of how we'd like to implement this program are emphasizing that this is a voluntary form of leave and it is a privilege for employees who are in good standing. The time is use or lose. So unfortunately, if you do not use any or all of that 2 hour increment, it does not roll over to the following week. Also, another detail is that supervisors do have the authority at any time to pause or terminate wellness leave for a group or an individual. And this could be because of the performance of a group or individual. There could be schedule changes that come up, or depending on the workload, if there are tight deadlines that we need to meet, it is appropriate for a supervisor to say that at this moment, at this time, we are not going to be allowing fitness leave. So, some of the more exciting things that are going to be coming with this wellness program are the updates to our campus. We do have a current gym space, although it is not big enough to accommodate the the size of the groups that we are anticipating participating in this program. So we are going to be expanding and updating our gym space. We're going to be adding a lot more equipment to make sure there's enough for everybody to use. We're also going to be expanding our locker room and shower area. And we're also going to be developing some green space outside. So we want to create a recreational space where people can use their wellness leave in group activities or taking walks or doing things, just relaxing outside if they'd like. We're going to add picnic benches and tables. So if you also wanted to spend your lunch hour out here, there's space to do that. There is also a section of the property we are going to set aside to create some sports courts like basketball or pickleball, because we know those are kind of popular activities right now at the moment. So we want to make sure that any needs or any, ideas and things that people would like to do, it's available to them. Um, One other thing I forgot to mention that we will be um, implementing as well outside is any updates to the bike and sidewalk areas, because we want to make sure those are safe and clear and people have space to do that. So right now, I'm going to turn the time over to Josh, who will be talking about the costs associated with this wellness program.
Kristen, I appreciate you passing it off to me. Like Kristen mentioned, today I'll be talking about cost and what that looks like for adding some of these things or even updating the current space that we have. Cost, oftentimes we associate it with fiscally and financially, what does that look like? We'll be talking about that, but also we'll be talking about the other aspect as well, how it'll impact us in a more positive way, what the cost looks like in that aspect. And so that's what we'll be focusing on first. Kristen kind of mentioned about different studies and different research that we've been able to pull and look at from other reports and other companies that have done and offered a wellness program very similar to ours. One of those companies is United Healthcare. They offered a wellness program very similar to what we're trying to implement here at our company. And some of the things that they were able to see and some of the changes that they were able to see with their workforce is truly incredible. One of those being that 62% of the participants in the wellness program reported improved productivity. This means that they were more engaged with the program and they saw an overall performance boost in their workforce as a company. Another thing that they saw was 56% of those participants had fewer sick days, so they weren't calling out as much because of illness and different things like that. The wellness program was able to help them improve their health overall and made them more aware of their health overall and kind of made them notice things on a more preventative medicine type of side. 30% of those participants had a disease detected through these programs. So, like I mentioned, they were more invested with their health and more intact and more in tune with going to be proactive with getting their health care taken care of. 40% of workers felt encouraged to work harder and to perform better. Other things that they saw was an improvement in enjoying work, intent to stay, team loyalty, and recommended this place for a place to work because of these incentives that we offered our employees. Um, Very, very high engagement in these aspects. Another thing that they were able to see was 26% of the workers missed fewer days by participating in this wellness program. So a lot of the times, this is more associated with mental health days or just needing a day off just because they saw a decrease in that by 26%. And then also on average, assuming that a worker gets paid around $25 an hour, that costs about $200 worth of productivity, not only out of our pocket, but also out of the employee's pocket, needing to put in kind of their part with PTO and also making them lose PTO because of it as well, which they could be using to, go on vacation, truly take that time off of work rather than using it for a sick day. And we know the studies behind the positive aspect of employees taking time outside of work and what that looks like and how that also increases productivity. So although here in the next slide here we'll be talking about the financials and what that looks like, we also wanted to highlight the importance and what that looked like on an employee standpoint and as an employer standpoint of the positive impact that it has on both sides and how in turn that can be a even greater return on investment with the cost that we're putting in. Some of the things that we're considering to add is a walkway installation. Kristen's slide that she showed us kind of the aspect in the area of where we wanted that to fit in. We're looking to add some trees, some grass area where you can play ultimate frisbee or just kind of go and do a yoga session. Just kind of sit down, read a book, and kind of decompress and de-stress from the stresses of work during those 2 hours throughout the week. And this is what the model that we're kind of looking at, and what that looks like on average. It costs about $10 to $30 per square foot. Again, depending on the size of what we want it to look like. Another factor that we're wanting to add on is a basketball court. We're looking at adding on a full-size basketball court. On average, that costs about 20 to 50,000, depending on how many we want to add. Which we're looking to add 1 to 2 early on, and seeing potentially with the space and what it looks like if we can add on a couple more. But there's a couple things with adding a basketball court or with adding walkway installations and how you can get together with other coworkers and how that can positively impact you. Getting to know new people, being more engaged, like the other slide showed, showing employee engagement and retention, and offering, telling others about this great place to work because of the things that we can offer an employee. So these are some of the costs of what it looks like to change some of these things. And although we know and understand that this might not be for everybody, although some of the benefits from accepting this program and opting into it are you get improved fitness levels, you get reduced stress, increased energy, focus, and concentration. With the company that we are and the attention to detail, like Todd mentioned, and the importance of that and the stress that it can add on, the wellness program allows you to take those hours during the week, those 2 hours during the week, to decompress, de-stress, and be refocused and re-engaged in the work that you're doing to truly save lives every single day. But we also understand that there's employees that might choose an alternative option. Some of those reasons might be they might would rather do different things, take their full lunch, or take go to the gym during lunchtime, go to the gym beforehand or after. And so it's really employee dependent if this is a program for them, or if it's rather somewhere else that they're getting this exercise in. We just want to be able to take that, but also offer it inside of our hours to be able to offer it to our employees so they can see the benefits of it. And we understand that, though we understand that this program might not be for everybody, we understand that there will be some challenges and some benefits behind it. And that's something that Tech will talk to us about next.
Thank you, Josh. We heard that Josh talked about benefits to costs and the productivity, remodeling considerations, and employee preferences. I will talk about challenges, potential solutions, and benefits that the employee enjoy. For the success of the wellness program, it is important to explore challenges and identify the corresponding potential solutions. In order to increase the accessibility of employees, address by evaluating spaces and make necessary amendments. Adding additional options like mediation and prayer also equally important in addressing the challenges. Supervisors to focus more on employee well-being and encourage them to use their wellness leave. To reduce employee resentment or unfair feelings, it is important to schedule time as a team or group. Emphasizing more on leave is a privilege and not a right. So communications, coordination among groups help reduce the impact of production schedule. Seeking suggestion from employees help address winter months issues. Consulting with legal teams can also resolve unknown legal issues. The dissatisfaction of employees can be addressed by suspending of wellness leave if unfriendly arguments prevails longer. Though, though the company is threatened by the number of challenges, the wellness program is life-saving benefits as well. The wellness program helps in minimizing stresses, health issues, insurance costs. It helps in retaining current employees, uh, reducing hiring manager expenses, improve mental health in number of ways, increase self-esteem, cognitive abilities, increase social connections, and improve functionality. Thank you. I pass it to next presenter, B.
Thank you, Tech. We've presented to you an amazing wellness leave program that will benefit our employees by increasing their work-life balance and ultimately benefit the company by increasing productivity, retention rates, and the creation and manufacturing of quality safety products that can save lives. In order to do this, we'll need to take a few things into consideration. We would like to start off by initiating this program and marketing it to employees. We'll need to make sure that we are sending out memos and posters that have language that really builds excitement and makes people interested in this opportunity. We should probably also have a kickoff event where employees can ask questions and management can answer those questions and make sure that everyone understands how this program will work. Of course, there will need to be a team to oversee the program, so that should include members from human resources, mid-level management, upper management, and some general employees as well. Their input is going to be extremely important in making sure that this program is running in a way that truly benefits them. As mentioned, there will be some costs and we'll need to make some investments. We can budget for those expenditures of the gym improvements, the outdoor wellness area, by making sure that we have correctly estimated the costs and then seeing if they fit in within this fiscal year or next fiscal year. We can also just initiate the program now and utilize the existing spaces while letting employees know that we do plan to budget for future improvements. The plan is going to be extremely important, creating those processes and establishing guidelines, how employees can schedule, how far in advance they need to schedule that wellness leave, and then what that looks like for each department and how they will cover those hours when employees are gone. Then we'll initiate the program. We'll launch the wellness program and each employee will get 2 hours of wellness leave per week. They'll get to utilize the gym, the outdoor spaces. They can pray, they can meditate, they can work out, they can read a book, whatever makes them feel good. We're looking again at increasing their physical and mental well-being so that they can come back to work after those hours and really see a benefit in their engagement and focus level and their excitement about being at work. Of course, measuring will be extremely important. In order to know if we've been successful, we'll need to collect metrics. And those can be in the form of employee and management surveys that can gauge their satisfaction level with how the program's running. We'll also need to track a few important numbers as far as our insurance costs, the number of days taken for sick leave, which should decrease. If we're increasing wellness, sick days should decrease. And then any other costs that this program has incurred, we'll want to make sure that we're running those to make sure that there's a high return on investment from this program. This wellness leave program will equal success for everyone. This work-life balance will trigger back to better focused and engaged employees and ultimately benefit our company. I'd like to paint a picture for you and take you back to the beginning, where we were at the start, before this wellness leave program. Our company was struggling. We had issues with retaining employees. We had mistakes being made in production that were costing us quality and ultimately sacrificing the safety of our consumers. And we had employees that were burnt out, upset, tired, and overworked. After a wellness leave program, here's what we envision for an employee. They go to work. They know that they get a 2-hour break or 2 1-hour breaks that week, and they're looking forward to that time. They work really hard up until a wellness leave, and then they take that hour or those 2 hours and they go out and they work out and they release those endorphins and they reset and they come back to work and they're focused and happy. And they go home and they don't have to stress about working out because they've already been given company time to do so. Their work-life balance is there. And our company's success will be there when we initiate this wellness leave program.